Okay, my guys, so I deleted literally thousands of videos from my YouTube channel previously, very recently actually. There was a lot of cooking tutorials that went out with that load of deleted videos. And more recently, one of my friends on TikTok, his name is Jarvis, he said that he's worried about being able to cook for himself. So I'm going to upload another cooking tutorial. This will be the cooking tutorial right here. So we're gonna first of all grab some spuds. Now you don't have to do this bit, but I like to do it to stretch out the food a bit, stretch out the quantity of the food. I'll put some spuds right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spuds is fine. Six spuds. Now I adjust all my cooking, except for simmering. If I need simmering, then I adjust all my cooking to run at full temperature. Okay, so this one is 275. The oven is on. Take the baking tray out before it heats up, so that you can put the spuds in. I adjust all of my cooking to run at full temperature. Now, you might need a big knife to cut the spuds. You don't have to do the spuds. This is an extra part of the cooking tutorial. I like to do it to flesh out the meal, do you know what I mean? So like, you've got your big knife, big sharp knife. When you're cutting vegetables or spuds or meat, I'm not going to do any meat tutorials because I'm actually vegan. But when you're cutting your items, your ingredients, never cut towards any part of your body. So when I'm cutting the spud here, I'm keeping my fingers, my hand, all parts of my body away from where the knife is moving. So it's moving forward there. See that? I'm keeping the knife going down, and my hand is over here. Now you can get very good at this, and it can become second nature to you when you're practicing your knife work, essentially, and cutting your spuds and that. So I'm going down solid there, so I'm keeping my hand on top of the knife. The top of the knife is blunt, that doesn't cut you. Now it took me an injury which needed surgery to actually fully take in the fact that I'd learned the fact that I should be following knife etiquette. Hopefully it doesn't take you any injury at all to fully learn knife etiquette. But basically you're not cutting towards any part of your body. You're never cutting towards any part of your body. Okay? It doesn't matter. See, my fingers are on top of the spud there, and I'm cutting down. And I have my spud. I have my fingers positioned so that the spud is stable. The spud is very stable, yeah. It's very stable. But I'm just cutting down, and then I've got my fingers to the side. See that? And I'm cutting down, and as the knife moves closer, I'm moving my hand back, just keeping the spud stable with my fingers, and cutting the knife straight down, and then hand on top of the knife like that. Cut down. Remove the spuds there. The knife is never moving towards any part of your body. Okay, that's crucial. And if you follow that rule, then you're not going to cut yourself. But you do have to always remain vigilant. It makes sense, doesn't it? It makes sense. When you're using a knife, always remain vigilant of where the knife is moving. You can feel exactly what the knife is going to do by how you're pressing it, how you're moving it, how you're handling your knife. You can feel what it's going to do. Trust your instincts with the knife. Trust that you know exactly what you're doing in that. Don't let your guard down just because you feel safe, because that's how accidents happen. I would say 85% of accidents happen when somebody lets their guard down and it's like, whatever, whatever. I'm really the thought process is this: I'm really safe at this. I'm never going to cut myself at all because I can do whatever I want with this knife. And then it is, bam, you've sliced your finger off. You know, I can do whatever I want with this knife. I'm really safe. You know, you don't want to think that. You do not want to think that. You want to think, I'm being careful with this knife because you want to actively monitor your knife work, okay? Actively monitor your knife work at all times. Because everybody's better off with 10 fingers, isn't that right? So I'll show you exactly how I get these. If you haven't been paying attention, how I get these spuds like this, like fries. So you take your spud, cut it in half lengthways, and then cut it in slices, like that. As thin or as thick as you want. I like them as thin as possible. And then you cut the slices lengthways. You're always cutting lengthways. So you're doing like a grid, basically, and then lengthways like that. Oh, and then it's the one I mess up on. Always be aware at all times that the knife has potential to slip, and always be ready to. What you want to do when the knife slips, okay? In that moment where it slips, you wanna move everything away from the knife, yeah? You wanna be ready for that, yeah? It slips, you move everything away from the knife, yeah? Now I did have that injury when I was like maybe 18 years of age, maybe 18, maybe 19, where I needed my tendon stitched. Because I cut a grapefruit with a bread knife, or as I thought it was a steak knife, but my mum said it was a bread knife. I cut to the bone, but yeah, I haven't cut myself since. These extra spuds go back there. We're gonna now. These are the ingredients for the spuds. Look here. That's what the spuds look like. That is now chips, isn't it? There's chips now. Now, I know you're gonna say most people wash their spuds or they skin their spuds, but the skin is the best part. All the nutrition is in the skin. You don't need to skin your spuds. I've been eating these spuds God knows how long, unwashed, unskinned. You know, they're just spuds. And is it a 95% of the nutrition of a potato is in the skin or something? You don't need to skin your spuds. What do the spuds do to you? You don't need to skin your spuds, guys. Don't skin your spuds. So that's a bit of extra virgin olive oil going into the spuds right there. I'm going to give them a shake. And then we're going to add some standard salt. Like that. Some salt and some cayenne pepper, because we have no paprika, so we're adding cayenne pepper. And some garlic granules. And some black pepper. Like that. Okay. And then we're just adding let's add two. These are vegan sausage rolls. I told you all I cook is vegan food. Because I only eat vegan food because I care about animal welfare. So these are vegan sausage rolls, Linda McCartney brand. You can make them up at any local supermarket. And the spuds that I use are Maris Piper. Apparently they're great for baking and chip making and that. I believe it, because they make great chips. So these spuds and these sausage rolls go into the oven And they are what's going to flesh out the meal. Now, we need to make the main course, okay? Main course, that's our side dish right there. So, we have our side dish on the trot, and that's going to take 20 minutes. Now that the oven's hot, it's going to take 20 minutes. So, what we need is a nice, large, yeah, let's get a larger pot. Got a lid here. We have a large pot. Right there. Yeah, that fits. Okay. A large pot there. It's bigger than my head. Okay, we're going to turn on the hob full heat, and we're going to turn on the other hob, the two front hobs full heat. Now I have this pot about 250 full of water right there. That's about there, about halfway up to my second digit, second whatever you call it. So here is the key thing to making food. You don't have to worry about recipes. You don't have to worry about, am I doing this right? Am I following this key recipe, whatever, you know? You don't have to worry about that. All you're doing is heating up your veg, you're heating up your starches, and you're basically done, you know? So we're gonna take some couscous. We could take rice, we could take pasta, we could take, you know, quinoa, you know? We're gonna take some couscous. Cooking is so easy, guys. I swear to you, cooking is so easy. You're gonna add your couscous into the water. Okay? And let's get some lentils as well. These lentils are full of protein, which is good for you. You know, lentils. Lentils in with the couscous. Like that. Now, a bit of salt. This raises the boiling temperature of the water, so the water can get hotter. Just a bit of chemistry there. So we're gonna we're just gonna that's dirty. We're just going to stir up this couscous and lentils like that, just to mix it up. It's very simple, guys. You can do that yourself. Now, I buy frozen veg, and the reason I buy frozen veg is that it lasts longer. I can stock up on a week's worth of veg and not worry about any of it going rotten. And the added benefit is that it's already cut, so you just pour it out there. Just country vegetables right there. Frozen veg is the best in my opinion. There's white onion. Add the onion in there. And it'll just cook in its own juices, you know, just add it to the pot. That's all you need to do is add it to the pot. and heat it up. We've got another type of vegetable here. This is cheaper, that's why I got this one this week. So you're just going to add the vegetables in. Lots of veg. Very good, very simple, very easy. No hassle at all. I've got the cabbage here. I'm going to add cabbage, which is so good for you. Cabbage is so good for you guys. Really good for you. And it's really tasty. It's one of the tastiest things ever. And we're going to add some mushrooms, which are what I said about cabbage also goes for mushrooms. Add it in there. It's so good, guys. It is so good. And it's so easy. Now you might be thinking, I can't follow all those instructions, what the hell, there's like a million instructions. You might be thinking, it's taken him 17 minutes to explain all this, how can I follow all those instructions? But it's not much, guys. All I've done is I've chopped some spuds, put them in a baking tray, put them in the oven. You don't have to follow that the first time. If you want to just do this, put your veg in a pot, turn it on heat, put your couscous in water, turn it on heat, and that's it. Vegetables in a pot, couscous in water, put them on heat. And all I'll be doing later on is adding spices. I might even just use one spice, just a medium curry powder that's just like mixed spices, whatever. It's got those ingredients there. You just, into the pot, put them on heat. It's that easy, guys. It's that easy. It's not rocket science. It is simple. I'll see you in a few minutes when all this stuff is heated up. Okay, so you want to keep an eye on your couscous because it can, as you can see, it can absorb the water fairly quickly. Now you'll know it's cooked when it's soft, and you'll know the lentils are cooked when they're soft. Lentils are still a bit chewy, so I'm putting a bit more water in the pot to cook the lentils in. Just splatter water with the lentils with, like that. It'll take a few more minutes. Couscous is done, but the lentils aren't. So. And then the vegetables are still partially frozen, partially thawed. Just gonna stir them up. And the side dish is partially cooked. It's only going to take a few more minutes, but actually I better. I'll turn the couscous down to a 3. Don't want it burning. Yep, it's going to take a few more minutes there, guys. See you then. Yeah, so you got to keep an eye on that couscous. Yeah, let's test this couscous again. Those lentils are now cooked. Now, those vegetables are not cooked, and side dish is cooked. So, couscous is done, spuds are done, vegetables need a few more minutes. Okay, so into this couscous we're actually going to put ground black pepper. Now, you don't have to copy the spices that I use. Just get a bunch of spices and just throw them in there. You know, you don't have to worry about it. It's going to work out anyway. That's the thing about cooking. Bit of garlic granules. You don't have to worry about what spices you put in your cooking, as long as you're not like dumping in a whole load of it. Do you know what I mean? Just a sprinkling of 3 or 4. This is lemon. A sprinkling of 3 or 4 spices. Allspice, right? A sprinkling of 3 or 4 spices, and you have it. You know. You don't have to worry about exactly how it's going to taste, because it'll taste fine. Right there. Now, I will say, yeah, okay. Let's give that a taste. That is great. That is wonderful. Okay, let's drain these vegetables. Just getting rid of the water out of them there. Right. So we're gonna add some flavors to the vegetables, right? We're gonna add 3 bean salad. We're gonna add tomatoes. Drain these beans before you add them. Now, chuck the beans in there. Chuck the beans. When these vegetables are cooked, is when I'll add the tomato sauce. The handy thing about vegetables is when you're cooking vegetables, all you have to do is heat them up and make sure they're piping hot all the way through, and then they're edible, you know. With meat, you do have to brown it off, but with vegetables, you just have to make sure they're hot. So all you're doing is heating them up, you know. Well, don't do that if you're cooking for other people. They are not done. Nobody else is eating this, okay? That's just me. But they're not hot yet. Yeah, that couscous is great. What we could do is get to dishing it up. quite done yet, you could take out this baking tray and grab a plate and I'm gonna grab some potatoes like so. Like that, and maybe 2 sausage rolls, like that. Very good. Let's put the rest of them back in the oven. Okay. A bit of vinegar on these chips. I love vinegar in my chips. And a bit of plant-based mayo. Vegan mayonnaise, it contains no egg at all. I'm just gonna wipe it on the chips here. Stirring up this veg, and I believe it may be cooked. Let's take a tester. Test this here. It's not quite done, but it doesn't need much more. So, what I'm gonna add this is the time where you add your random shit. So my random shit is going to be some sesame oil, like that, some soy sauce, like that, some English mustard, right? Some English mustard. Trying to get as much without the pot as I can. You know what I could do is put a bit of water in it. A bit of water in the pot, in the jar, and that's all that's coming out of there. Now I'm going to add some curry powder, like that. Yep. Yes, yes. There we go. Now we have ourselves a meal. We do have the tomato Right there, that goes in there. Now you can serve it so that the couscous is underneath the vegetables. The vegetables are on top separately. But if the meal is going to last more than overnight, well, if it's going to last overnight, you're probably better off to just put it all in together, because that way you can put it all in one pot into the fridge to keep it safe for consumption. And so you might as well just put it all into one. It's really just aesthetic. Fuck, I shouldn't have done that. Should not have done that. You're not meant to scrape stainless steel pots because they leach cancerous chemicals into the food if you scrape them. Which is my complete utter stupid mistake, so don't do what I just did. But yeah, just mix it up. Just mix it up, man. And by this time, you can have a little taste. And you can see it. Nothing wrong with that. That is great. There's nothing wrong with that at all. So, put it on the plate. And that is couscous and vegetables, the side dish of chips and vegan sausage rolls. So easy. Easy like a Sunday morning. Easy like a Sunday morning. There you go, guys. That is so good. I love it. Let's go.